This woman was gently tapping her cheek with her fingers. She was actually talking to a death row inmate through a special body language. She asked him if there was any way to save him. The man blinked in response, showing he had more information to share, so the woman quickly pulled out a pen and wrote everything down. By the time their conversation ended, the trial was already over, and 3 days later, he was sentenced to death. But he wasn't worried at all, because he had just come up with an amazing escape plan with the woman. His name was Diabolic, a notorious thief. That night, Eva arrived at the spot Diabolic had mentioned. She pressed a marked brick on the wall, and before she knew it, the whole wall started to rise. Behind it was a fancy car just waiting there. Eva hopped in and took off right away for the next location. As soon as she saw the sign for 37 kilometers, she stopped the car. Suddenly, a part of the mountain turned into a doorway and began to open slowly. Once the car drove inside, the scene was completely different. Eva put on a safety coat, and a closet popped out by itself. Inside were bundles of cash and colorful pills. Eva picked up the yellow and green vials. Diabolic had specifically demanded that he needed to get out of jail, but for that, he needed a special guy, the justice minister. This guy was corrupt and had a thing for beautiful women. He was already smitten by Eva's looks and had always wanted to have her. When he saw that Eva had come to him, he got all excited and started closing the door. Eva said she wanted to test his loyalty. The minister immediately swore that he would go through fire and water for her. Eva smiled slightly and picked up the newspaper from the table, which had news about Diabolic's execution. She said she found the story of that notorious thief really interesting and wanted to meet him before his execution. The minister flatly refused since he was a death row inmate. Eva leaned in close and touched him, and the minister quickly agreed but insisted he would go with her. Eva gave a mischievous smile. That was exactly what she wanted. That night, they both went to the jail. The minister made up an excuse that he needed to interrogate Diabolic. They went into the interrogation room, and 27 minutes later, the minister came out and coldly said that Diabolic was like a piece of a cold metal. He didn't budge at all, just replied that he's always been like that, completely emotionless. The next day, it was execution time. The guards cut the collar of the guy and forcibly laid him on the guillotine. But surprisingly, he was still totally calm. The prison officer found his strange behavior suspicious. He discovered that the guy had a fake face made from human skin found at his house, and he immediately ordered the execution to be stopped.